guys, it's XYDI, and as it turns out, you, me, and up to 140 million other people might be in possession of an illegal substance, and not the one you think. We'll talk about that and more on today's episode of The Drop. Before we get into the news, just a quick reminder that it's still Super Mario month here on the channel, and I'll have a review for New Super Mario Bros. Going up within the next few days. And while we're talking about Mario, this is your friendly reminder that after March 31st, you will be unable to purchase 3D Allstars on the Nintendo eShop, so make sure to grab it while you still can. Anyway, let's get into the news. Earlier this week, the Chicago Sun-Times reported that Illinois State Representative Marcus Evans has filed a proposal for an amendment to an existing law that prohibits the sale of M-rated games to minors, and if passed into law, this would also end up applying to adults. This is in response to the rise of carjackings and violence in the city of Chicago, and it just goes to show how out of touch these representatives can be. Video games do not cause violence, and the actions of a few should never be used to punish the majority of good people who might just happen to play violent video games. This isn't the first bill of its kind, and it definitely won't be the last. And while it has a very high likelihood of not being signed into law, it's still a possibility, and it's a story that we should all keep our eye on. And speaking of stories that we'll keep an eye on, Microsoft finally closed its $7 billion deal with Bethesda, making the acquisition final. This means that all of the Bethesda game studios are now a part of the Xbox family, and during a roundtable held to celebrate the closing of the deal, Phil Spencer revealed some more information on the future of exclusivity of their games, saying that they'll, quote, come to any platform with Xbox Game Pass, basically meaning just PC, Xbox, and eventually xCloud. Although the first two Bethesda games published by Microsoft are coming to PS5 as timed exclusives, in the future it seems gamers on PlayStation or Nintendo will be out of luck. And while we're on the subject of Bethesda and Microsoft, it's important to note that over 20 Bethesda games are now available on Xbox Game Pass, including the likes of Doom, Dishonored, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Wolfenstein. One more little tidbit of news from Xbox is that Overwatch has quietly received the Series S and Series X upgrade, allowing the game to run at 3 different performance levels on the next-gen consoles. One which will target a higher resolution, one which increases the image quality, and perhaps most excitingly, the ability to play at 120 FPS. This update for the game is available right now, and so far there's no word of a similar upgrade coming to PS5. But worry not, there is a major new feature announced to be coming to PS5, which is Denuvo Anti-Cheat. Anybody who's played Warzone can tell you how annoying cheaters can get when playing online. However, it also seems that the software blocks cheating in single player, which I find a little bizarre, as cheating when playing solo doesn't really seem to harm anybody. While having a backbone for anti-cheat software is certainly a net positive, hopefully this will only be used sparingly. And speaking of multiplayer games, it seems that Naughty Dog is currently hiring positions for an unannounced multiplayer project. It's unclear if this is for the factions mode we were promised for Last of Us 2 or a brand new game altogether, but it's definitely exciting to know that Naughty Dog is developing yet another online mode, as the original Last of Us included an excellent multiplayer suite that often got overshadowed by the story. And lastly, let's get into a bit of Nintendo news. NPD sales charts for the month of February are in, and it showed that the Nintendo Switch is still king of the crop when it comes to consoles, selling the most for any console in February since the Wii in 2009. Another milestone set by the Switch is that it has recently passed the Nintendo DS in terms of dollars made off the system, and these are both huge, as the Nintendo DS and Wii are two of the most successful consoles of all time. And also, as a fun little sidebar, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was the best-selling game of February, and if you want to know my thoughts on it, you can check out my review of it here on the channel. Alright, and that's everything for today's episode of The Drop. I lied, I have one last little story. Build-A-Bear is partnering with Nintendo yet again, but this time for Animal Crossing Build-A-Bear products. That's adorable. There were no details given, but I'm sure we'll get a little bit more information as they're closer to release. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to go smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content, and ring that bell so that you never miss a new video. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!